Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Risabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Rishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we continue from Dialectic Spiritualism, and the chapter is British Empiricism. First person is John Locke, 1916, 32 to 1704. I agree thus. In essay concerning human understanding, Locke writes, this argument of universal consent, which is made use of to prove innate principles, seems to me a demonstration that there are none such because there are none to which all mankind give an universal consent. That is, it cannot be argued that all people have an innate or inborn idea of God, but do innate ideas have to be universal? Might they not differ from person to person? Srila Prabhupada. Innate ideas depend on the development of our consciousness. Animals have no innate idea of God due to their undeveloped consciousness. In every human society, however, men have some innate idea of superior power. For instance, even aborigines offer obeisances when they see lightning. The offering of obeisances to something wonderful of power or powerful is innate in man. The consciousness of offering respect is not developed in animals. When we have developed this innate idea to its fullest extent, we are Krishna conscious. Agreed thus. Would it be better to say that the living entity is born with certain tendencies, which carry over from previous life, and that all he needs is to meet with some stimulus in order to be manifest? Srila Prabhupada. Yes, for instance, when an animal is born, it naturally searches for the nipples of the mothers. This means that the animal has had experience in previous life and therefore knows how to find food. Although the animal may not be able to see, it knows how to search for its food by virtue of past experience. This proves the eternal continuity of the soul. Presently, I am living in this room, and if I go away for 10 years, then return, I can still remember where the bathroom and living room are. This remembrance is due to my having lived here before. In material life, the living entity passes through different species or forms. I agree thus. Locke would argue that that the idea of Krishna is not innate because it is not universally assented to. Since not everyone acknowledges that Krishna is God, Locke would say that the idea is not inborn in the mind. Srila Prabhupada, in the material world, different living entities have different ideas. The ideas of a person with developed consciousness are different from those of a person with undeveloped consciousness. If someone is Krishna conscious shortly after his birth, we are to understand that he has previously contemplated Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labate purvadehikam yatate cha tato bhuya samsiddha kurunandana. On taking such birth, he again revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. 643 Bhagavad Gita. Our culture of Krishna consciousness is never lost. It grows until it is perfected. Therefore, Krishna says, Neha Bikrama Nashusti Pratyavayo Navidyate Svalpam Apyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Bhagavad Gita 240. We have the example of Ajamila, who cultivated Krishna consciousness in the beginning of his life, and then fell down and became the greatest debauchee. Yet at the end of his life, he again remembered Narayana and attained salvation. Locke maintains that there are two basic ideas, those which come from sensation, external experience, and those provided by inner reflection. Srila Prabhupada, that is known as Pratyaksha Pramana. However, we have to go higher. Pratyaksha Paroksha Anumana Adokshaja and Abrajita. These are different stages of knowledge. Pratyaksha means direct knowledge. Paroksha is knowledge received from others, and Anumana, inference, is knowledge acquired after judging direct knowledge beyond the limits of direct perception. Aprajita is spiritual knowledge. All the stages of knowledge advance towards spiritual knowledge. Direct perception is material. Shama Sundar Das. Locke states that the mind can reflect only after it has acquired some sense experience. In other words, only after acquiring some knowledge of this world through the senses can we have thoughts and ideas. Srila Prabhupada, yes, but my ideas may not always be true. I may have experience of gold on a mountain, and I may dream of golden mountain, but a golden mountain does not exist in the external world. Shamasundar Das. Locke distinguished between simple ideas and complex ideas. There are four types of simple ideas. Those we perceive from one's senses, such as sound, touch, and so on. Those we receive from two or more senses, such as motion or space. Those we receive by reflection, such as remembering, reasoning, knowing, and believing. And those we receive from both sensation and reflection, ideas of existence or unity. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. These all arise out of different material conditions. For instance, how do we experience ether?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances of Grace Srila Prabhupada.
Shri Krishna Jani Prabhu Dandat Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada. Ibo. So, how do we experience ether? By sound. We can neither see nor touch ether. As the material condition changes, the sense perception also changes. We can sense air and water by touch, fire by form, and fragrance by smell. In the beginning, the living entity has his mind, intelligence, and ego, but presently the mind, intelligence, and ego are false, just as this present body is false. The spirit soul has a body, but this body is covered. Similarly, the mind, ego, and intelligence are covered by material conditioning. When they are uncovered, we acquire our pure mind, pure intelligence, and pure identity. Devotional service
Yeah, this is very nice one.
Yes, Prabhu. Devotional service means bringing the soul to his original pure condition. In Krishna consciousness, everything is pure. Pure mind, pure intelligence, and pure ego. Tat paratvena nirmalam narada pancharatura. Everything is purified when it is connected with the Supreme Spirit. When we are purified, we have nothing to do with the material body, material mind, body, intelligence, or ego. We are purely spiritual. Shamasundar Das. Locke is trying to find a basis for knowledge, beginning with sense perception. He states that the mind receives knowledge from the senses and is able to reflect on this. Srila Prabhupada, yes, we agree that the mind receives knowledge through the senses. Then there is thinking, feeling, and willing. There is also judgment and work. We receive many impressions and then plan something. We think and feel, and then we put the plan in action. That action is the process of work. Locke states that these simple ideas combine to form complex or abstract ideas like the conception of God. This is an enlargement upon the simple ideas of existence, knowledge, time, power, and so on. We combine these to make complex ideas like the idea of God. Srila Prabhupada, God is not a complex idea, but a perfect idea. However, God is so great that he is naturally complex to ordinary man. Shyama Sundar. Locke states that there are three types of complex ideas. That which depends upon substance, like roundness, hardness, and so on, and which is a relation between one idea and another, agreeing or disagreeing with another, and that which is substance or body subsisting by itself and providing the basis of experience. Because we can know only the duality of such substance, we cannot know what the substance itself is, nor where it comes from, nor how it is produced. The nature of ultimate reality cannot be known or proved. Shlapra, but it is a fact that it cannot be known by such mental speculation, but it can be known from a person who knows it. Luck may not know, that someone else may know. Everyone thinks that others are like himself. Because he does not know, he thinks that others do not know. But that is not a fact. There may be someone who knows. Tad vignartam sagurum eva bigachet samit panisrotriam brahmanishtam. In order to learn the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master in disciplic succession, who is fixed in the absolute truth. Mundaka Upanishad 1 to 1 to 12. 1 to 12. Dibu. The Vedas tell us to seek out the person who knows. That is the bona fide guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that such a guru is one who knows that the ultimate reality is Krishna. That is the most important qualification. Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Sudra Kenen Naya Ye Krishna Tattva Vetta Se Guru Haya. Whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. See, Prabhu? So these con gurus, they know who is Krishna, they can be guru. Prabhupada said it. Here is the order.
Mm. Yeah, yes. Mm-mm.
Now
I see they see Krishna. I can saw that.
yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
they are doing very well.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, yes.
Prabhu, do you want to also read?
Oh, yes, I can, I can.
Yes, Prabhu, you can continue from here.
Okay. Locke claims that Locke or Locke, I don't know how to pronounce
Same, Prabhu. I don't know also.
that. This is very weird. There are very weird name in this.
Yes, Prabhu. So I thought that the Indian names are hard, but now I'm more confused with these European names.
Oh yes, Prabhu, yes. So I will say Locke. It's more easy for me.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Locke claims that objective reality has primary qualities that are inseparable from the object itself, just as the color red is inseparable from the red object. But we say that we should which cannot be separated is called dharma. Dharma is the particular characteristic of a particular thing. For every living entity, dharma means rendering service to Krishna, the supreme. That is liberation and the perfection of life. I agree with others. Some people claim to remember events from their previous life. How many these how are these reminiscence different from innate ideas? Srila Prabhupada, an innate idea is inevitable. The idea that God is great and that control is and that I am control is innate everywhere. But sometimes out of ignorance, one tries to become God. That is not possible. That is Maya, and one simply suffers. It is an innate idea with the living entity that he is the servant and that God is great. I agree with us. Rock further writes, the knowledge of our own being we have by intuition. The existence of God reason clearly to make known to us. We have a more certain knowledge of existence of a God than of anything of or our senses can discover. How it is or how is this? If this is the case, how is it that some men have no have no conception of God? Srila Prabhupada, everyone has some conception of God, but under the spell of Maya, the living entity tries to cover that conception. How can he, how can any deny God's sane man deny God's existence? Some superior power must be present to create the vast ocean, land, and sky. No one can avoid some conception of God, but one can artificially and foolishly attempt to avoid it. This is called atheism, and this will not endure. One's foolishness will ultimately be exposed. Prabhupada Locke recommends four tests to know whether knowledge is true, by which we can perceive agreement or disagreement between ideas. Srila Prabhupada, whether we agree or not, truth is true. There is no question of agreement or disagreement. Shmashulandas. We can objectively study something to see if there is agreement or disagreement. It is not that knowledge depends on our subjective opinion. There must be some scientific proof. Srila Prabhupada, our test of truth is Vedic evidence. For instance, it is stated in the Vedas that cow stool is pure. We accept this as true. We cannot reach this conclusion by argument. Shema Shulantas. Locke states that God must be a thinking being. because matter, which is senseless, could never produce sense, experience, perception, and thought. Srila Prabhupada. Certainly, by definition, God has full knowledge of everything. Krishna said, Vedaham samatitani valtamanani charjuna vyavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashana. O Arjuna, as Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all that are yet to come. I also know the all living entities, but me no one knows. Bhagavad Gita 7:26. Krishna also told Arjuna that millions of years ago he instructed the sun god in the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna also points out that Arjuna took birth with him, but that Arjuna had forgotten Krishna knows everything. That is the meaning of omniscience. Shmashuna thus also said that since that there are no innate idea, moral, religious, and political values must be regarded as products of experience. Srila Prabhupada, we should experience what is the best experience. We should understand what is the best experience. For instance, we consider Manu to be the authority on political and social affairs. Manu Ikshva Kave Blavit. Bhagavad Gita 4:1. Manu instruct his son Ikshvaku. If this depends on experience, we should accept perfect, unadulterated experience. Shmashunadas. He states that values must obey the will of God as expressed in natural law, the laws upon which men agreed, such as social contract and the established tradition, customs, and opinions of mankind. He states that our laws, must be obeyed in such a way that we will exist in harmony. And and what is that harmony? Harmony. Perfect harmony is in knowing that we are part and parcel of God. In this body, there are different parts, and each part has a particular function. When each part performs its function, the body is harmonious. The hand is meant for touching, lifting, and grasping. But if the hand said, I shall walk, there is disharmony. Being part of and parcel of God, we have a particular function. If we fulfill that function, there is harmony. If we do not, there is disharmony. The law of nature means working in harmony with desire of God. Maya jakshena prakriti suyatesa chalachalam eto nanena kunteya jagat viparivaltate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rules, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Under Krishna's superintendence, everything is functioning in harmony. Events do not happen blindly. If in any organization there is a supreme authority whose orders, under whose orders everything move in harmony. Our harmony means that there must be some superintendent. It is generally said that obedience is the first law of discipline. There cannot be harmony without obedience. Shamanshundala Das. Locke would say that we have to obey the law of nature. Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is obeying the law of nature. Yashya Gyaya Brahmachi Brahma Samhita 552 states that the sun is moving in its orbit fixed by the law of Govinda. The ocean has certain limitation fixed by the Supreme. All nature is functioning according to the law of God. Ah, yes, I just want to, you see, every time uh, Prabhupada will do that, but also His Grace Sundar Gopal Prabhu, they will quote Brahma Samhita.
Yes, Prabhu.
And you see, this Brahma Samhita, uh, you can answer everything with that.
Yes, Prabhu, that's right.
Yeah, so I really try. I will try to begin to learn this Brahma Samhita because I think that it could be helpful, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
And I heard that actually for initiate disciple Prabhupada, he said that yeah, you must, learn this prayer, those
Ye-
prayer, because yeah, this is really important prayer, you know. This is really, really very important.
Yes, definitely, Prabhu. There is one
Yeah.
Prabhupada made one nice book about this.
Mm, 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 mm. Uh, the- uh, yes, I think I saw this in Veda base. I think I should just read it
Yes,
just to see. Mm. So yeah, I already read that. Locke believed that we must also obey the laws upon which we agreed, that is the social contract. Srila Prabhupada, this is the law. We must surrender to Krishna. When we agree to the law of the Supreme, that is religion. Simashundaradas. Man agreed socially not to steal one another's property, or to kill one another. Shouldn't we obey these laws of men? Srila Prabhupada, men's laws are imitation of God's law. Mm. God's law states, Ishvasyam idam salvam. Ishavasyam idam salvam. Everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. Isopanishad 1. Everything, every living entity is the son of God, and he has the right to live at the cost of God. Everyone is eating food supplied by God. The animals are eating their food. The cow is eating grass, but why should we kill the cow? This is against God's law. We have rice, grains, fruits, vegetables, and so on. These are for us. Tigers do not come to eat our fruits and grains. So why should we kill tigers?
yes, Prabhu.
Tigers is not encroaching upon our rights, encroaching. Uh, can you see this meaning? Encroaching, encroaching. Please, thank you. Human beings are sensitive. Okay. Intrude on a person territory, rights, personal. Okay, okay. Intrude on. Okay. Encroaching. Oh, a new one for me. So I agree with others. Locke argues on behalf of private private property given to man by God. He believes that a man may have stewardship over a certain amount of property. In this is this a compliance with the Ishopanishad Ishopanishad version? Yes. Tena chak tena punjita. One should therefore also only accept only the things necessary from himself which are set aside as quota. Upanishad 1. Everything belongs to God. Father may have many sons and be the ultimate proprietor of his house, yet he gives different rooms to his son. The obedient son is satisfied with what his father has allowed him. The disobedient son simply wants to disturb his other brothers, and so he claims their rooms. This creates chaos and confusion in the world. United Nation has been formed to unify nation, but they have not succeeded. People continue to encroach on one another's property, and therefore there is no peace. If we accept God as superior proprietor and are satisfied with the allotment He has given us, there will be no more trouble. Unfortunately, we are not satisfied. Shamashundara Das. According to Locke's uh, utilitarian ethic, happiness is the greatest good, and obedience to the moral law results in happiness. Srila Prabhupada. But the difficulty in that here in this material world, happiness is temporary. And even if we follow moral laws, other people will give us trouble. There are people who don't care whether you are moral or immoral. Bhagavad Gita confirmed that this is not a place of happiness. Dukalayam ashashvatam. This temporary world is full of misery. Bhagavad Gita 8:15. Therefore, we have to find where real happiness exists. That is spiritual world. Happiness here is only another illusion. It is possible if Krishna himself says that this is place of misery, how can we find happiness here? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks of real happiness. Shukam achantikam yatat buddhi grahyam atindriyam eti yatra na chaivayam shtitas chalati tatvatha. In that joyous states, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoy himself through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Bhagavad Gita 6:21. Real happiness is beyond the senses. It is atindriya. In other words, we have to purify our senses in order to attain it. This is also confirmed by Rishabhadev. Nayam deho dehabacham nilokhe kashtam kamam alate vidbujam tato tapodivyam traka yena sattvam. Shu Tied Yasmad Brahma Shukyam Vanam Vantam. Of all the living entity who have accepted material body in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stew. What should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continue forever. Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavatam 551. Presently, our existence is impure. If a man is suffering from jaundice, he tastes sweet things as bitter. In order to taste real happiness, we have to purify our senses. Materialistic things think that as soon as they have sexual intercourse, they will be happy, and that is not real happiness. We cannot even enjoy that happiness. The conclusion is that we should not seek happiness like cats and dogs and hogs, but as human beings. This means tapasya, purification of senses. First, we must be cured of this material disease. Then we can taste real happiness in our earthly life. Sane man who knows, sane man knows that his spirit soul covered by a material coating. So let this coating be washed away by devotional service. Tat paladvena nirmalam nalatta panchalatta. When we engage in devotional service, we remove the false coating and our real senses merge. We enjoy those real senses by serving Krishna. Shamasundaras. Locke also says that all men born free and equal in the states of nature, and that they have formed a social contract. Therefore, the government must be based on and subject to the mutual consent of all the citizens. Prabhupada. That agreement can be reached when everyone is situated on the spiritual platform. On the material platform, people are subject to the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. How can the vote of a God-conscious man and the vote of a drunkard be equal? Equality is not possible unless everyone comes to the spiritual platform. Shamashundara Das. It is true that all men are born free and equal. Yes, that is fact. If we are not free, how can we commit sin? Committing sins means that we have the freedom to commit sins. And equality means that we all have small independence. We are equal in the sense that we can properly utilize or misuse our independence. Because we all have independence, we are equal. If we misuse it, we go downward, and if we use it properly, we go upward. In the use of independence, we have equal rights. So this is Locke.
Haribo. Yes, Prabhu.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna Vivek Prabhu Dandat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
Please
Dandat
accept
Pranam
my
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
humble obeisance to
I saw
Jai
Sri
Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhu was also there, but he left.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Sorry, Prabhu.
Jani Prabhu, did you see Sri Kant Prabhu was also there?
Oh no, I
Oh,
didn't
Haribo.
notice. I was focused on reading, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. But he left just now. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, sometimes Prabhu, he had some in his work, he have some free time, just like like 5 minutes or 10 minutes like this. So he will. I noticed that sometimes he will come to the group like this. Hmm. Oh,
Vivek,
this is another one.
yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
We can read few pages of this one also. Vivek, Prabhu, do you want to continue?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Haribo.
George, George Brackley, 1685 to 1753. Secretary of the Brackley seems to argue against objective reality. For instance, three men standing in a field looking at the tree could all have different impressions or ideas of the tree. The problem is that although there are three different impressions of the tree, there is no tree as such. And now, how does the tree as such exist? In the mind of God, uh, it is possible for a conditioned living entity to perceive the suchness or essence of anything. Srila Prabhupada, since everything is God or an expansion of God's energy, how can a tree or anything else exist independently of God? A clay pot is not different from earth. Since there is nothing but God's energy, how can we avoid God? Since nothing can exist independent of God, whatever we see must refer to God. As soon as we see a clay pot, we remember the potter. God is not only the original creator, He is the ingredient, the the category and the original substance as well. According to Vedic conception, God is everything. That is a non-dual conception. If you separate anything from God, you cannot say Sarvam kal khalva idam Brahma. Chandogaya Upanishad 3.14.1. Everything is Brahman. Everything refers to God, and everything is God's property. Therefore, whatever exists should be utilized for God's service, and that is the object of our Krishna consciousness movement. Shama Sundardas. Briefly, I maintain that nothing exists outside prescription. Matter is simply perceived. For instance, this table is only an immaterial substance which enters my mind. It is not made of matter. Srila Prabhupada, then what is your mind? Is the mind also immaterial? This is the Sunyavadi position. They believe that everything is zero. Shyamachandra Das. Brakely says that everything is spiritual, not zero. Srila Prabhupada, the spiritual is not an idea but a fact. The Sunyavadis cannot understand how spirit has form. They have no idea of Sachidananda Vigraha, our spiritual form of bliss. They really have no idea of spiritual existence. Shamasundara Das. Brakely says that everything has form, but that it is not made of matter. Srila Prabhupada. That is nice. Everything has form. It is not necessary that the form be material. We say that has a God has a spiritual form. Sure, Ramasundar, but Brickley goes so far as to say that everything is made of spirit. Srila Prabhupada, yes, in the higher sense, everything is spirit. We always say that materialism means forgetfulness of Krishna. As soon as we do tell everything to Krishna, nothing is material but spiritual. Shamasundara Das. Brekle uses the example of a book on a table. The only way the book exists is through the idea or sense impression in the mind. It doesn't enter the mind as much as matter but as spirit, something immaterial. Srila Prabhupada. If it is not matter, it is spirit. If everything is spirit, why distinguish between the idea of the book and the book? Srila Ramachandra Das. Well, For him, there is no difference, Srila Prabhupada. But he explains that the book is not material. If everything is spiritual, the idea is spiritual as well as the book. Why make the distinction? Sarva kalva idam brahma chando chandodaya Chandogya Upanishad 3.14.1. If everything is Brahman, why make this distinction between the idea of the book and the book? Why is he trying so hard to attempt to explain? Ramasundaradas. He also states that God creates all objects. Srila Prabhupada, yes, that's right. And because God creates all objects, there is no object that is not true. We cannot say that something false comes from something true. If God is true, then whatever emanates from God is also true. It is Mayavadi philosophy to say that everything that we are seeing is false. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Ramasundara Das. No, he says it is real because God perceives it. Srila Prabhupada. If it is real and my idea of it is real, then everything is real. Why make these distinctions? Our philosophy is that there cannot be this distinction. If the world emanates from God, can it be false? If everything is spiritual, why does he make the distinction in saying that it is not matter, that is that it is something else? As soon as we bring up the subject of matter, we imply that matter is something separately existing. In other words, there is duality. As soon as you say that this is not matter, you are making matter into something that is not true. If so, everything emanates from God and is true, there is no question of there being anything that is not true. If everything is spiritual, we cannot make this distinction in it is not true. If everything is spiritual, we cannot make these distinctions. Sorry, distinctions. When he says this is not matter, he implies that there is matters somewhere. If everything is spirit, there is no question of material existence. Shamasundaradas. He says that there are two types of objects: those which we actively sense, perceives and experiences, and those which are passively sensed, perceived, and experienced. Both are basically the same because they are equally spiritual. Srila Prabhupada. But two types means duality. How does he distinguish between this type and that type? He distinguishes between the sense and the object of the sense. If everything is spiritual, we can say that there is spiritual variety. But the senses and the object of the senses are all real. Shamsundaras. No, he says that they are real and made of spirit. They are not real in the sense that they are made of matter. No, he says that they are real and made of spirit. They are not. Uh, they are not real in the sense that they are made of matter. Okay, Srila Prabhupada, I do not understand this logic. If everything is spirit, why is he making this distinction? There is no need to make such distinction if you are spiritually realized. Either you can say that these are spiritual varieties. For instance, you can say that stone is not water. There, that hair is not stone. That water is not hair, and so on. These are all spiritual varieties. The exact Sanskrit word is sa- savishesha, which indicates that everything is spirit, but that there is variety. Shamasundara Das. Breckley says that if no one experiences a thing, not even God, then it cannot exist. Things can exist only when they are perceived by God. Srila Prabhupada. This means in one word that there is no existence except God, that nothing exists by God. Srila Prabhupada. So Shyamasundara Das, he uses the example of the fire side of the North Star, we will never be able to perceive it from our viewpoint. But because God can perceive it, it must exist. Shira Prabhupada, that's nice. The idea that something does not exist because I cannot perceive it is not very logical. I may not perceive many things, but that does not mean that they do not exist. In the beginning, this is what I understood. Used to say, Berkeley was saying that kind of logic is contradictory. God's different prescription perception is different. He is unlimited and we are limited. Since he is unlimited, his prescription is prescription is unlimited. Therefore, there are unlimited varieties of existence that we have not even perceived. We cannot say that objects do not exist just uh, because we cannot perceive them. Shamasundar Das. He says that objects exist because of perception, whether it is God's perception or ours. Srila Prabhupada, God's perception is another thing. Perception means Chetana, Nityo, Nityanam, Chetanas, Chetananam. Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. The word Chetana means living. We are living and God is also living. But He is the supreme living entity. We are the subordinate entities. Our prescription is limited and God's prescription is unlimited. It is admitted that everything exists due to God's prescription. Many objects exist that are not even within our experience or prescriptions. However, God experiences everything. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that He knows everything, past, present, future, and future. Bhagavad Gita 7.26. Nothing is behind His experience. Shamasundara Das. He says that because God experiences all objects, objects are rendered potentially perceivable to human minds. He says because of God experience all objects, objects are rendered potentially perceptible to human minds. Okay, Ashila Prabhupada, that's all right. Because as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we experience objects through God, not directly. That is stated in the Vedas. Yasmin vijante sarvam eva vijantam bhavanti. God experiences all things, and if we receive our experience from God, we are advanced. We are preaching that people should receive their experience, their prescriptions through Krishna. We shouldn't try to speculate because speculation is always imperfect. We are searching after the original source of everything, and Krishna says, "Aham sarvasya prabhava." Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Krishna is the root of all emanation, of all creation. The conclusion should be that we should receive our experience through God. Therefore, we accept the experience of the Vedas. The Vedas were spoken by God and they contain knowledge given by God. The word Veda means knowledge, and the knowledge of the Veda is perfect. The Vedic system is Shruti Paramanam. As soon as an experience is uh, corroborated or verified by Vedic statement, it is perfect. There is no need to philosophize. If we can receive perfect knowledge directly from the Vedas, why should we speculate? Why should we take so much this unnecessary trouble? Dharma svanustita pumsam vishwa के सेन कत कथंसु यः नत्पादयेत् यदि रतिं श्रम एव हि केवलम्. Duties, dharma, executed by men, regardless of occupation, or only so much labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of Supreme Lord. Bhagavatam 1.2.8. My speculation is always imperfect because I am imperfect. Shamasundara Das, there is an inherent tendency in men to want to experience something first hand rather than through the someone else. Srila Prabhupada. From the beginning of our lives, we are experiencing things through authority. A child receives experience by asking his parents. A child knows nothing about fire and he wants to touch it because it is red. However, he receives knowledge from his parents that he shouldn't touch fire. In this way, he comes to understand certain basic laws of nature. The Vedas tell us that in order to know the transcendental sense of Krishna, we must approach a guru. We cannot speculate about God, the spiritual world, and spiritual life. Shamasundara Das Blakely says that world is real because if it were not real, we could not experience it. Srila Prabhupada. That is also our version. Vision. And the world is real because it was created by God. But the Mayavadis say that the world is unreal. Dhamma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Shamasundar Das. He states that the only way we can know that this table exists is through our senses, but these senses impressions are subtle and subtle or material. Srila Prabhupada, instead of saying that they are not material, he should say that they are abstract. Abstract is the original position. The Sunyavadis cannot understand the abstract. Therefore, they say that the abstract is zero, nothing. But the abstract is not nothing. Shamasundara Das. Prakla says that if this table were if this table were composed of matter, we would not be able to experience it because the only objects capable of entering our experience must be sensitive of substance. Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is non-different from everything because everything is Krishna. Fools look at the deity and say, "This is not Krishna, this is stone," because a fool cannot see anything but stone. God appears to him as stone. Unfortunate theistic make these distinction. They distinctions. They will say everything is Brahman, but not this stone deity. Or they will say, "Why go to the temple to worship when God is everywhere?" What they are saying is that God is everywhere, but not in the temple. This means that they have no clear idea. We see that everything has form, or we to assume that we have form and not we have form and God hasn't. Impersonalists have no conception of Krishna's original form. Krishna very kindly and mercifully appears uh, before us so that we can experience him, and ultimately there is no distinction between matter and spirit, but because at the present moment I cannot conceive of a spiritual form. God appears in the form of the deity. Krishna says, "Klesho de klesho dekara dekatra tesham avyaktas avyaktasakam sorry avyaktasak avyaktasakta chetasam avyakta hi ghatir dukham deva devadhir avapyade avapyate." For those whose mind are attached to the manifested impersonal feature of the supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Bhagavad Gita 12.5. People are going through unnecessary labor in order to imitate immediate on sorry imitate on something impersonal because they have no idea of God. They superficially say everything is God. Still, they cannot see God in the temple in his achar, Archa Vigraha form. They cannot understand why all the acharyas like Ramajacharya and Madhvacharya have established these temples. Are these acharyas simply fools? They are there has been deity worship since time immemorial. Are all the people who have participated in deity worship fools? Shyamasundar Das. Brekle says that spirit is the only genuine substance, that there is no substance that exists without thinking. In other words, there is nothing involved. Even in objects like this table is made of spirit, and spirit is thinking and thoughtful. Srila Prabhupada. That's nice. His conclusion is that everything is Brahman, because the uh, thinking is also Brahman. At the present moment, we cannot perceive the spiritual. Therefore, God, out of His unlimited kindness, comes to us in a small, tangible, concrete form that we can dress, feed, and handle. We cannot say that this form is different from God. Arche Vishnu Sla, Shledhari Shledhir Gurusu Nara Maitar Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. One who considered the Archamurti or worshipable deity of Lord Vishnu to be stone, the spiritual master to be an ordinary human being, and a Vaishnava to be belong to a particular caste or creed, is possessed of hellish intelligence and is doomed. Padma Purana. It is horrible to think of these spiritual things in material way. We should always offer uh, respect and consider that Krishna is present. We should not think that the deity is simply stone and cannot hear or see. There are 64 items mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, Rasamrita Sindhu, that guide has in that guide has in deity worship.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for reading.
Okay, Prabhu.
Now
Thank you
we
so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much for association.
Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Haribol,
Reward.
Prabhu.
चेतो
Okay,
दर्पणमार्जनं
Prabhu.
पवमहादवाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावादूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
Nam Nama Kalibahuda Nija Salva Shakti Statla Pita Niyamita Smalanina Kalaham Itadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Daiva Midrisha Mihajanina Nuragaham.
तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानेन मानदेन कीर्तनेन सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
Ainandatanuja Kinkalam Pachitam Mam Vishami Bhavam Bhuto Kripaya Tavapada Pankajastita Duri Sadrisham Vichinta.
Sorry, Prabhu. Nenam galadam ashurधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निश्चिन्तं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति. I was muted. So,
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
Ashlishyava Padalatam Pinashtu Mamal Dashanam Al Mahatam Kalutuvam Yata tatava vidatatulam patumat plananatastu saivana palaham.
Haribol, all glories to Sri Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Yes. One should chant the holy name. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names, like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energy. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting this name. Oh my Lord. Out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the slow and the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow, others I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your spiration, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more, tears are flowing from my eyes like torrent of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Ribol, Sri Sixastakam Ki.
Ribol, Jai,
Jai Jai Haribol.
Ribol.
The 10 offenses to the holy name. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to consider the name of demigod Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Prabhu, you're muted.
Alright. Third offense, to disobey the orders of spiritual master.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic scripture or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth offense.
Sixth offense,
Yes, Prabhu.
oh, sorry. Yes, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna to be an uh, to be an uh, a auspicious ritualistic activity which is offered in the Vedas as which is offered in the Vedas Vedas as fruitive activities Karmakanda.
Ninth offense, to instruct a faceless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting, and every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, which is Krishna Prema. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा
पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा
सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
पतितानां भवाभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः।
वैष्णवेभ्यो
भवानेभ्यो
नमः।
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
हरि बोल। पंचतत्व की जय, नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय,
जय
कृष्ण
जय
चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय,
जय
जय
पद की जय, निताय गौर
जय
प्रेम, हरि हरि
हरि
बोल।
हरि
हरि
बोल
हरि बोल।
हरि बोल। Thank you so much, Prabhu,
For your
for
association.
Thank you.
Very nice.
association.